Welcome into Payoff Pitch, Action Network's Major League Baseball betting podcast. Brendan Glasheen in the host chair, joined by BJ Cunningham. Tuesday, October 15th. We've got one game to look at tonight. It's game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Guardians at the Yankees. New York victorious on Monday to wrap up a holiday weekend. So great to be back with you folks for another week. Again, we have Payoff Pitch episodes each and every day. There's a game, Monday through Friday. Of course, the written content from Sean Zerillo, opening pitch, available each and every day during the MLB postseason, leading up to the World Series over at the Action Network app, actionnetwork.com. BJ is here. Zerillo's got plays in the app right now as well, but we got BJ here with us today. Tanner Bybee, Garrett Cole's your pitching matchup. Cleveland is plus 144 on the money line today. Totals at 7. You got a couple looks, but we'll start with the side. You like the Guardians today, BJ?
I do. I think, if you look at what happened in last night's game, obviously, the Yankees got out to an early 4-0 lead, but really why that happened is because Cantillo threw a couple wild pitches, right? If he was able to get out of that jam, I think it changes the complexion of the entire game. Now, because they were losing by 4 runs for most of the game, Cleveland saved all of their best arms. They didn't pitch Gaddich, they didn't pitch Smith, they didn't pitch Heron, they didn't pitch Class A. So now everybody's available. If you look at what Tanner Bybee has done his first 2 starts in the postseason, he hasn't gone beyond 5 innings. So the bullpen will be heavily involved here with the day off, obviously, and then you have 3 games after that. So with the Cleveland bullpen being more heavily involved, they have an advantage over the Yankees right now. Overall for the season, they were a better bullpen. They were a better defensive team. The problem is facing the Yankees is that they're the best offensive team in baseball. I was going through it last night and going through, pitch by pitch of all of Tanner Bybee's pitches. The Yankees are top 5 in expected weighted on base average against all of them. So my thinking is that he's probably not going to see the order a third time through. That would be my guess. I don't know that for sure. So if that is going to happen and the Cleveland bullpen is going to be more involved, I do like them at anything plus 145 or better. I projected them at plus 132 for this game. The other thing is Garrett Cole. Obviously, he's been one of the best starting pitchers in Major League Baseball for a long time now, but his velocity has dipped quite a bit. This season, he's only averaging 95 miles per hour on his fastball. Cleveland, if you look at some of their metrics throughout the season against, fastballs 98 miles per hour or faster, they're one of the worst teams in baseball. They don't have velocity very well. But now the fact that Cole isn't throwing that hard of velocity, I think it gives them a little bit of an out and a little bit of a chance here to get to him. And they're a very difficult lineup to face. They had the 4th lowest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching this season. As you saw against Rodon early on, he was able to kind of find his groove as he got a bigger lead. But the first couple innings, Rodon was really getting up there in pitch count. They were really making him work for it. So the Guardians are a tough team to face. So along those lines, I do have a home run prop for tonight, along with the Guardians money line. It's Josh Naylor to homer at 6-1. The weather is going to be cold in New York. It's 50 degrees, but the wind is going to be blowing out about 8 miles per hour to right field. So Naylor, obviously being a lefty who pulls the ball into a short porch in right field, that gives him an advantage. And he is the best fastball hitter that the Guardians have. He cannot hit a curveball to save his life. He's horrible against curveballs. So Cole might just throw him a bunch of knuckle curves tonight, and he may not be able to hit them. But he absolutely drills fastballs. He has the best expected weighted on base average, best exit velocity of any of the Guardians off against fastballs. So him to homer at 6-1, I think is decent value. And then along those lines with Bibby, only going potentially through the order first 2 times through, under 4.5 strikeouts is I think interesting to me. Zerillo made a good point in his opening pitch article, which you mentioned, and everybody should go read. Bibby threw in his last 2 starts here the postseason, he's thrown a sinker double-digit times when he basically has not thrown it at all during his pro career. It was his best pitch when he was at Cal State Fullerton, but Cleveland told him to scrap it when he got to the pros. But he went back to throwing it. So I'm guessing that will help him generate more soft contact, obviously more movement than just having his fastball. So, yeah, it's tough facing the Yankees lineup. They have cheat codes everywhere that can just hit home runs. But At plus 145 when Cleveland has a defensive and a bullpen advantage, I like the Guardians at plus 145.
And I know the last couple of years we've talked about Cleveland. They put the ball in play. Zerillo likes the Garrett Cole under on 5.5 strikeouts. Probably a little more than you do, but we just looking at, for comparison, the outs recorded prop we were talking before we started is at 17.5. But you said it, Aaron Boone might be more, he's mentally settled on the fact that they'll ride Cole a little bit longer. I mean, they got 93 pitches in 6 innings out of Rodon, but it's not a sure thing. The Yankee bullpen, as we've highlighted in the second half of the season.
Yeah, no, seven. I'd say 17.5 is right. If they float 18.5 out there, you may want to consider playing an under on Cole. But yeah, the Guardians will make him work. And with the off day, it obviously makes them more inclined to utilize their bullpen a little bit more heavily, right? So they had 3 days off before game 1, and they didn't, they used Luke Weaver the most. He went an inning and 2/3. So obviously it's the playoffs, so he'll be available if needed, but they still have everybody available in their bullpen. One thing on the Yankees bullpen that I find interesting, Brennan, is that, if you took the cumulative over the whole season, they had the best stuff plus rating of any bullpen in baseball, but they had problems with their control. They had like a 98 location plus rating. They were in the bottom 10 in terms of walk rate. This postseason, they only have a 1.75 walk per 9 rate, which is a huge improvement. So when people kept talking about how the Yankees bullpen would always cost them games, it was because of their control. It's not because they don't have good stuff. So now that they're getting a little bit more control in the playoffs, that makes them a little bit more dangerous, right? But again, they're facing a Guardians lineup that doesn't strike out. The Royals had a pretty high strikeout rate and chased a lot of pitches against the Yankees bullpen in the ALDS. So, as far as Cole is concerned, with his velocity being down, he is throwing that fastball up in the zone quite a bit. So kind of more along the lines of, maybe trying to find somebody from Cleveland to hit a home run, because he definitely, we know over the last few years that he is very vulnerable to giving up home runs.
And Josh Naylor's your guy tonight.
That's the guy tonight. He'll probably just get, it'd be like Serrano in Major League. He'll just throw him curveballs all day long until he can figure it out. But, who knows? Maybe he grooves a fastball up in the zone and Naylor takes him out to right field.
All right. There you go. There are your best bets for Game 2, ALCS Guardians and Yankees. First pitch at 7:38 TBS, True TV. You can also watch these on Max, I guess. There's your outlet to watch. We've got Dodgers Mets tomorrow. 3-man crew, myself, Zerillo, and Tanner McGrath will join you for Game 3, Dodgers at Mets breakdown. But we'll be here all week this week. There should, unless of course there's a sweep in any of these series, but we'll have written content, actionnetwork.com, action app, opening pitch from Sean Zerillo, really good breakdowns of both of these series, and then payoff pitch every morning coming your way on the Action Network, over in the Payoff Pitch, the Action Network's MLB betting podcast. For BJ Cunningham, Brendan Glasheen, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy Game 2 in the Bronx.